everyday thing. It's an everyday thing. It's an everyday thing. When you let your nuts hang. Story time on the time that I got kidnapped, had to stamp somebody, and then went to jail because of it. Yeah, let's get into it. And I know y'all hate long ass stories, so I'm going to talk as quick as possible. Boom, I'm 14 years old. It's me, my sister, and her friends at the house. My sister and her friends get the idea to let's go down to McDonald's. I'm like, all right, cool, let's go down to McDonald's. We go, and my now ex-boyfriend, because eventually I ended up dating one of the dudes. So we all get into his car. He has his cousin. So it's, fucking, I'm using real names. Nah, I'm not. So it's 5 of us in the car. Now, where we are from a very small town, as I have mentioned before. Nobody really wears shoes. So when we got into the car, I didn't have any shoes on. Now, I'm not really a city girl, but I live in the city. So at this point, we get into the car, we all head down to McDonald's. Now, the plan was for us to go to the drive-thru, but for some reason, the driver thought, oh, well, I'm going to change my mind. We should all go inside. I have no shoes on. I cannot go inside. So I sit in the car. I'm thinking they're just going to go in there, order the food, come back out. I look up. These niggas is fucking eating in the goddamn... They're eating. So I get upset. I get out the car. I start walking, right? I'm probably about a quarter of a mile away from the McDonald's, right? And up pulls this grown-ass, big-ass man. And he's just like, hey, do you need a ride? And so my hot-headed ass was like, hell yeah, I'm going to get into the fucking car. I get into the fucking car, and he's immediately asking me so many questions, right? What's your name? Where you from? How old are you? Da-da-da-da-da. Now, I'm lying. Again, I'm 14 years old, but I tell him I'm 16 because, as I have mentioned before in one of my videos, I look older. So
14 and built like a battery.
So at the time, I'm just like, I'm 16 years old. My name is Nicole. And so, you know, I'm just giving him like lies that could be believable type shit. He asked me where I need to go. I said, I just need to go to the library that's right up the street. Now, for some reason, instead of going straight up the street to where the library is, he decides to turn right and then turn left, taking the other road up the street, right? And I peeped that because I know the area. I used to walk around all the time. You know, I was a schmobber. I schmobbed everywhere. I did not give a fuck. So I'm sitting here peeping like, okay. And then he calls me out on a lie. He said, wait, I thought you said you was 16, because I don't remember what I said, but I'm not a good liar. So he's just like catching me in my fucking lies. Next thing you know, he goes, hey, we got to make a stop real quick. We make a stop. And it's at a house with a small wooden shed on the side of the house, like almost like cat-a-corner to the backyard, but not really in the backyard, if that makes sense. So we pull up, and I see the wooden shed. I'm like, okay, this is odd. He goes into the wooden shed, and then he puts something in his waistband, which then glimmers in the goddamn light, and I see it is a pew-pew, okay? Now, in my mind, I'm knowing a couple things. One, I'm probably not going to make this out of this situation alive. And two, if I do make it out this situation out alive, I'm going to have to run and probably fucking drop and roll out the goddamn car. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, now that he's driving again, I know exactly where we are. And I'm just like, okay, we're approaching an intersection of where I go to the gas station all the time. There was a gas station at that intersection, okay? So I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, as soon as we get up to this gas station, as soon as we get up here, I'm going to have to drop and roll. So he's asking me questions. He's badgering me. Boom, 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 bam. Mind you, he don't think that I know that we've already passed the library. We're past the library. Like I said, he took the other road and he passed up the fucking library. So I'm just like, okay, I'm getting kidnapped. Like, that's what this is. I'm going to have to drop and roll. We get up to the red light where the intersection is, where the gas station is. And he had one of those old hoopty, like Cadillacs. I think it was a Cadillac. It was either a Cadillac or a Lincoln, one of them box cars. And so he had one of those locks where you can actually pull it up physically, right? And so he pulls up to the red light. I pop that little motherfucker, and all I know is I hop out and I take off running, and I'm yelling too. It's like that scene off of SpongeBob where he's like, he's gonna kick my butt. I was like, he's trying to kidnap me. He's trying to kidnap me. There are people who are outside. It's a fucking Friday, bitch. There are people who are outside. They see me. They hear this. He takes off. He runs through the red light. He turns left at the red light. He goes through it. So then I run the rest of the way home, which is probably about 3/4 of a mile, almost close to a mile. I run home, right? I get home. My sister and her friends are at the house. I walk through the door, right? And they're just like, how the fuck did you get here so fast? Yada, yada, yada. I tell them the situation, but for some reason, they think that I'm fucking lying. Mind you, my sister doesn't think that I'm lying. Her friends think that I'm lying. I'm sitting here panting. I'm out of breath, but because I'm not crying, the boys thought that I was lying. Again, like I said before, I did end up dating one of them, but He knew what it was. He knew better at that point. But anyways, so fast forward. So I'm sitting here like, yeah, this is what happened. Da, da, da. They like, but you're not even crying. Like, I feel like if you would have got kidnapped, you'd be crying. I'm like, what? Who even sits here and tries to tell me how I'm supposed to be reacting? I'm still in shock. Like, I'm trying to process this. I just had to run almost a whole mile home. So I'm sitting here. I'm getting frustrated, right? The cousin. Now, the cousin, let's just call him E. So the cousin, he's pissing me off because he's the main one making jokes, talking about some, oh, well, I better go pick her up and I better go pick up this and pick up that. Like, he's making like little kidnapping jokes. And I did not think that shit was fucking funny. Now, at the time, my mom had a snub nose something. She had some kind of pew pew, right? And that specific night, I was looking for it, but she took it with her. And he got very fucking lucky that she did, because next thing I know, well, since mommy doesn't have her pew pew where it's supposed to be, I'm about to go into the kitchen and I'm going to grab a E. And so I'm going up to him and I'm like, say it again, say it again, say it again. Nigga, I dare you, say this shit again. I promise you, you're not going to walk out of this house untouched. Everybody thinks I'm tweaking out. Oh, I'm tweaking out. Yeah, I'm tweaking out because I just got kidnapped and now you're making fun of my situation, but yet you have the audacity to still be in my home. What is my sister doing? Some of you may be thinking in this very moment. My sister is basically not on my side. She's not on my side whatsoever. As a matter of fact, I don't even remember what her reaction to me getting kidnapped was, because I know damn well she was not speaking during this time. And so I remember at one point I told them to leave. They were like, no, we are here for your sister. And I said, well, y'all need to leave regardless, because I'm having a whole crisis right now. I need y'all to leave. Y'all are fucking with my mental right now. And I promise you, somebody's about to get hurt. Because again, I do have this weapon in my hand. And so at the time, they're like, we're not leaving. We're not leaving. Oh, okay. So I picked up my ex's hat and his cousin's jacket, and I threw it in the creek behind the house that we had. And so it floats down the fucking creek. I'm like, get the fuck out of my house. They're like, no. Okay, cool. So then I grab the weapon. Sorry. So then I grab the weapon again, and now it's me and the cousin. And we're sitting here and we're having a whole little argument. I'm like, get the fuck out of my house. He's like, no. So, okay, cool. I'm walking up on him. And so he like tries to take the knife, and he ends up like, his hand gets cut. Let's just say it like that. His hand gets cut. That's all I'm gonna say. Okay, I had to, like I said, I had to protect myself, because in this moment I'm having a mental crisis and you're making it worse. So he was just collateral damage, to be honest. Like it was what it was. You walked up on me while I have the weapon instead of just leaving my house. So he got hurt and he needed stitches that night. And so shortly after that, my sister, my blood, full-blooded, same mother, same father, right? Full-blooded sister, she calls the police on me because I have now stabbed her friend. And so the police show up, but now the police show up, but I'm seeing red. I'm seeing, like, I'm about to burn this whole goddamn city down. Now, at this point where the police show up, we are outside. I am chasing the cousin down the road with this weapon. I'm still eyes locked on him. It's like a fucking shark smelling blood in water, bitch. You're not getting away. And so I'm really trying to get this dude, right? I'm really trying to end his life, unfortunately. Like, I was just seeing red, unfortunately. And next thing I know, the police were like, stop, weapon, drop your weapon. Now, again, I'm seeing red. I'm only seeing this guy. So I'm like, fuck that. So I keep walking towards the guy. One guy goes, taser. Pew! They shoot off the taser, right? Okay, so that's the first guy. The second guy, taser. Pew! Shoots off the taser. That's what this is. One of the tasers landed in my shoulder. So here I am. I got two people with the tasers, the prongs onto the little springs, tasing me. I'm not going down. They can't get me down. That's how angry I am right now. Mind you, it's my first love's birthday. He's watching all of this from my fucking front yard because he lives 3 houses down and it's his birthday. And I'm sitting here getting arrested for trying to chase someone down to unalive them. And the police are, someone ended up coming behind with like a handheld taser, and they ended up tasing me in the back. It's January. I'm gonna just put it like that because some of y'all are too nosy. So anyway, so it's January. And so I'm sitting here like, okay, we're gonna have to sit here and just go down. So I go down. Unbeknownst to me, I have called my mom. I pocket dialed my mom. She was not home at this whole time, as you can clearly see. And I pocket dialed my mom, and I leave her, she said, like a 2.5 minute voicemail of me screaming bloody murder at the top of my lungs, because again, I'm being tased by 3 different cops. So they tase me, they get me down, and then they pull me up. They're like, man, you weren't going to go down, were you? You're a teenager, but you have the strength of many men. Yes, many men. I'm telling you, that man was about to go down that night. That boy was about to go down. Fast forward. My mom finally pulls up, and her boyfriend at the time, now ex, they pull up, and they're, asking questions. Why was my child tased? Like, what's going on? Da 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 da. And so during this whole altercation, my mom's ex, he ends up getting put in handcuffs because he's trying to figure out what's going on, and they're not answering his questions. They're like, we got to take her in, we got to take her in, we got to take her in. And then next thing you know, I get locked up for 3 weeks, and then I get out. And like I said, years later, me and one of the dudes did end up dating. Clearly not the fucking cousin, but the other guy, we ended up dating. And yeah, I definitely was locked up for that.
Oh my God. Bro, just to be in this. I thought I had some wild stories, bro. I ain't never chased nobody down with no knife. But, and taking 3 tastes. Let me tell you, one time, oh, I could tell. I got tased. My friend tased me one time. My friend tased me, and I threw a cricket phone. I threw a dart at his head after he tased me because I was working at cricket, and he tased me on the butt cheek as I was walking out the damn door because somebody was coming around selling tasers, and he bought one. And his punk ass only had he could only buy the pink one because that's all they had left. Man, he tased me, and I froze up at the door, and I had this box of cricket phones in my hand, and I just grabbed that phone and I chunked it. He was running out the back. Bing! I was pissed. That thing left a whole mark on. I don't know if y'all ever been. I ain't never been tased by a cop taser, but that taser, man, shit, that thing hurt. But